introduction of poetics, I'm going to begin with. If there is any disturbance or if I'm not able to come online, you're not getting me, let me know so that I can once again refresh it. Now, as yesterday we have already discussed about how Aristotle tried to explain the things where Plato in his Republic pointed out that there is no place for the poets in ideal state. Now, if you look this book and if you start understanding this text, let me put it in these words that Aristotle was much admired in the whole world of criticism for the elegance and clarity in his arguments. And as we know it very well, that most of the texts written in ancient Greek period, those texts were not part of today's life. We are not reading the same text which were written before. Lots of reasons. I'm not interested into going back into the history and pointing out that what are the causes and reasons that we don't have those original texts with us. But let me put it in this way that what sort of books which Aristotle prepared, those books are not the same. And that's why it may be possible that we will not able to get one authentic book called Poetics written by Aristotle. And that's why if you surfed on internet, if you move on internet and if you start surfing, if you start searching various things on internet, you will get ample of pages available on internet discussing about poetics. Now, very interestingly, my friends, what Aristotle wrote in poetics, it was in Old Greek language. And this Old Greek language was not as much familiar to most of us as the recent modern Greek language. Another very interesting fact about Aristotle and Greek philosophy, literature, and criticism, that this particular writings is not in its original form because it was translated from Greek to Arabic and from Arabic to rest of the languages of the world. That means it is a translation of a translation. And that's why the sort of Aristotelian work is with us. It is making very, it is taking a chance and it is giving a sort of concession to many readers of Aristotelian text in a way that All these, and including this particular text, including this particular writings of Aristotle, it was explained, it was clarified by various editors of the world, taking the basic concept of Aristotle, what Aristotle talked about, because uh, very interestingly, if you see, most of the editors of the world, they started to edit the text of Aristotle because most of the ancient Greek texts were burnt down. And when those texts were burned down, whatever part of those texts remained, editors started to collect those remaining part of the text and try to compile it and analyzed it, gave their own commentary on that particular text. And after giving commentary on that particular text, they tried to provide this text in its form to the readers. And that's why the commentary on poetics may differ, but the ideas are the same. Don't ever think that if we are reading Aristotle's Poetics edited by someone else, may he have changed all those things in that book? No. The editor has not changed anything in that book. Editor has already carried all the texts, all the elements that Aristotle has explained in his book in its original form, and he is trying to elaborate it in his own words, and that's why the analysis may have some different approach. Analysis may have some different perception of explaining that particular concept that Aristotle tries to bring in front of its reader, trying to explain it with its philosophy. And that's why you will find out the analysis by the commentators. The commentators have analyzed, the editors have analyzed that particular writings of Aristotle. Now, when this analysis or commentary given by various editors or commentators on Aristotle's writing has its advantages that it makes most of the readers to understand the basic concepts, what Aristotle is trying to bring in front of his readers. It becomes very much easier for most of the readers. It becomes very easy for most of them to understand. But there are certain disadvantages also, and we have to understand these disadvantages that basically Aristotle's or these texts, they were not designed, they were not written for, you can say, for public consumption. Aristotelian texts were not written for the sake of common man. And these texts are difficult to understand, and that's why it requires a specialized mind to explain and analyze this particular text, and even to study this particular text. And that's why when we are studying Aristotle's Poetics, that means we are supposed to be the refined minds. These refined minds are studying Aristotelian concept. And that's why the process by which these Aristotelian texts took their present form is somehow unclear. In some cases, you will find out editors are taking some uh, advantage of being the writer not available with them, or you may find Some editor may compile the text by taking various commentaries together, and what is presented as a single continuous text in front of us may have certain contradictory arguments, and we somehow find that this particular text is much more complex than what we think about. These are certain disadvantages of not getting the text in its original form, having the text, and it is not the problem of just of all of us, but it is a problem of the whole academia, that we are not getting whatever text is with us. It